reality is used as a treatment for things such as social anxiety, including fear of flying, arachnophobia, and public speaking, as well as conditions such as autism and dementia. To treat these issues, I have looked at two different studies. The first study dealt with social disorders such as public speaking. They were put in safe situations to practice dealing with their anxieties with no real consequences, so they could practice over and over again, so when it came to the real world, it would be easier to deal with. The second study dealt with treating autism. There were 30 participants who were children, and the idea was to get them to cross the street at the right time by using screens and having them know when the light was green so they would know when to cross the street. In the end, both of these studies were successful. All of the participants reported a betterment of either their social anxiety or they were able to do things like cross the street in the case of 30 children with autism. Although we've made a lot of progress using virtual reality as a treatment for certain social phobias and conditions such as autism and dementia, there's still a lot of work to be done to make virtual reality treatment more helpful and effective.
Commercial truck drivers and pilots go through a plethora of hours of rigorous training. In order to increase the efficiency of these training hours, many companies across the globe have begun utilizing the technology of virtual reality. One of these companies is UPS. They're putting their trainees behind the wheels of virtual trucks in order to get them used to driving around potential hazards such as oncoming traffic and pedestrians.
Ross!
Yes, Clark?
How does this help?
Great question. By allowing the trainees to get experience behind the wheel of a truck without actually driving a truck, these trainees go into real-world situations with better instincts and knowledge of safety should a hazardous situation occur. One way that this technology could be improved upon is by incorporating severe weather situations into the training simulation in order to help trainees be better prepared in the event of severe weather.
The businesses today are becoming more and more global, so it's really important that these teammates stay really connected and can communicate with each other. But one way to do that is to improve virtual reality. For example, GE right now has a conferencing room all arranged in sort of a semicircular way so that when you're sitting at the table and you're communicating with your teammates, it actually feels like you're talking to them. Imagine being able to take a part of an engine, analyze it, put it into a 3D modeling program, send it in a file to another team member who is able to then open it up into a holographic projection and almost be able to handle it in their hands. They can move it around, they can zoom in, they can zoom out, and really understand why that part failed. Pretty effective, right? Unfortunately, we're a long way away from this kind of technology. But there are still businesses and companies that are making the most out of what we currently have with virtual reality. Carvana likes to think of themselves as a dealership without all of the hassle of going out of your home. Instead, you can just buy a car straight from online. Each car is put through an intense 3D picture program which allows 360 views of the entire car. So you're actually able to insert yourself into the car and get a feel for how the controls are laid out and etc. People in the future might be able to take this a step further by actually simulating the car driving, and you get a feel for it as it accelerates or slows down.